Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another Final Fantasy Reflections video. So I've turned my mic volume up a little bit more on the OBS. I don't think it's gonna really do anything, but I'm gonna try my best. I like to be loud, but I'm a very soft and quiet person usually, so it's kind of hard for me if you can understand. Anyways, this is my new review format. It may be better, it may be worse, but I'm gonna try my best to see what we can do here. So I've got multiple sides for one unit now, so it's going to be actually a lot more. I'm putting a lot more effort into this. So I'm actually the design choices are mine. This is not an art. For the previous review slides were done by an actual artist. This is definitely not done by an artist. You can tell, but I'm trying my best with what I've got. Anyways, we've got the new Cloud here who got buffed, quote unquote buffed. Let's talk about what he's going to be getting here for his strengths. So 150% lightning amp, which sets him out from every other DPS. Even though you look at his Brave Shift LB and it's only 300 times without that mod buffs or anything, 150% amp puts him far above any of those other units. They may have the same modifier but don't have the 150% amp and things like that. He's got infinite turns between forms, so you can go back to his base form for the 40% Greatsword Imperial right there that we're going to talk about. 40% Greatsword Imperial on his base LB. You have to waste a turn to use it, but it's 40% Greatsword Imperial, which overall will increase that one turn of damage a lot more. He's also got lightning, wind, fire, and ice imbues, and also some smaller amps with those. So he's not locked to lightning, but of course you'd want to use lightning. One other thing that I forgot to mention here, which I really should have mentioned, is that when Zack comes out much later, he's going to be a lot stronger than he is now, because of the leader skill for lightning or Final Fantasy 7 units. And Zack would be very nice to be on that team because he can chain for Cloud. So very nice. You got CD mod buffs, cooldown mod buffs on both sides, 60 times, but make sure you're paying attention. The mod buffs for both the cooldowns are different, so if you use the base form cooldown, it's for his base form LB only, which is definitely not worth it. You want to go ahead and shift over and use the cooldown for his Brave Shift LB so that you get the Brave Shift LB cooldown used and the mod buff used. EX2 will provide a morale scaling ability to his cooldown finisher, which was useless on JP, but on global it actually increases damage over time now, because even after those 5 turns are up for his mod buffs are gone, in between turns you could actually use this cooldown for more damage over time. Now I don't know if this is actually going to help out a gigantic amount, but it will increase it does increase the cooldown modifier by quite a lot. So I would recommend getting, if you're going to pull for Cloud, I would recommend getting multiple of his TMR and STMR, at least 2 of his STMR, and as many TMR as you can get, because it's dual killers, even though it can't be stacked. You're using multiple DPS in Clash of Wills, and there was already, I think, wasn't the last one human and machine, so it's possible again to be a human machine. Plus 50% LB damage, so it's very nice. I would get multiples of the TMR, multiples of the STMR, because the STMR has 100% TDH on it. So it's pretty good. For example, 2B would like to have this, so she would have 400% TDH without A2's STMR anymore. So that's an option for you guys. Anyways, onto his weaknesses. He's only got 2 turns and 1 use for the 150% amp as always. But it would just be really nice for that to be like a cool. I'm sure eventually they'll make it a cooldown or something where they'll have 150% amp for 4 turns or something ridiculous. I don't, you know how they usually power creep units and things. I'm sure eventually it'll be used more times or something like that. They're just testing the waters with these kind of units, you know. So sadly, he's only basically got 1 turn. That'll be very powerful, or technically 2 turns on global. He's got a 5-turn timer for the 100 times mod boost, and you can't stack Tita's STMR with it because they're the same named passive. So you've only got 5 turns to do a lot more damage, and after that, his damage goes down a little bit, but it's still okay. And the last thing is just a kind of complaint that I was expecting his LB and his base form or Brave Shift form to at least scale with morale, and they do not. All he got was 1 thing for his cooldown, and that's it. That's his only morale ability. Like, okay, Gumi, if you're watching this, you gotta give these JP units more than just that. Like, Cloud is very powerful. He's already stronger than A2 and 2B by a margin. but he should have gotten some scaling on his LB to make him last longer. Because remember, he's a premium unit, guys. He is a premium unit. He should have gotten a little bit better. I was expecting to wake up this morning and see his Brave Shift LB have a damage, and then at the end have some scaling for morale, and he didn't get it. So it is what it is on that, guys. And finally, let's talk about his. Let's talk about the vision card here. 150 attack baseline makes it better because Sephiroth and Tifa's are only 125 attack baseline. So already you're going to get a lot more attack with this, plus all the other things that it has. Sephiroth and Tifa would like to have this card when their buffs come. Hopefully they do come, right? They better come. I'm gonna be raising some pitchforks. And by the way, Tifa's upgrades don't come for a very long time. If you're a new player and you're wondering if Tifa's getting upgrades anytime soon, no, hers is a long time out. But I'm just mentioning this now. This card is definitely not worth the chase. He's a premium unit. You need EX3 for this. So this is something you would get later down the line, or unless you're a whale, which I don't think there are very many of those left. But hey, if you're a whale in the comment section, let me know in the comment section down below if you're going to chase this card. It is a lot of attack, but it's only for Final Fantasy 7 units, basically. So Cloud, this is best in slot for Cloud, of course, but it's EX3. So let us go into the scoring phase. What are we going to give Cloud? Remember, he's a premium unit. He got buffed. He is one of the top damage dealers now, if not the top damage dealer. 9 out of 10. Infinite turns, multiple imbues. He has damage even after his 5 turns are up with the cooldown there, with the morale scaling. So I think he deserves a 9 out of 10. I think he deserves it. He's very valuable in that regard. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for Cloud. Now let's go ahead and review Barret. Alright, so we've got Barret here. Barret is a physical cover tank. It has Omni cover for 1 turn, just like Cecil does, but he's a magic cover tank. This one's a physical one, so there's options for that. I mean, at least the option is there. You normally want to use this when there's a turn, and there are multiple times where this happens, where you'd like to do an Omni cover. Sadly, his spirit probably will be a little low, so he'll have to work on that. 200% fire and wind resist green magic, and also all those other benefits, just like how Lilith has a dark one and Jet has a water one. This is the same thing. It is useful though. It costs a lot of MP, but it is pretty useful because of the LB field that it gives as well. 27 hit on the SLB and LB, and it also chains with it chains with everybody. That has, you know, three times bolting strike, so it's very nice. He has 75% on the LB, 85% on the SLB, human and Reaper physical mitigation on an LB SLB, like I just mentioned, of course. So very nice. That 85% human mitigation is can be very useful for a lot of those upcoming trials that have humans in them on JP. That will come in global eventually. So I'm not saying you're going to use him. I'm just saying it would be nice to, I guess, to have. I've never seen anyone use him for those. But I'm just saying, if it were to happen, it would be nice to have that much mitigation for physical damage. And another nice perk is that all you really need is his TMR to get 400% TDH for defense, or TDH for defense on him with just his TMR. And his STMR is good for him as well. So his TMR and STMR are really only good for him, not really good for anyone else. I mean, it's really bland, especially since there are restrictions on that TMR. So very bland. It is what it is, though, guys. I mean, you can't be perfect, right? All right, let's go into some weaknesses here. You're locked to fire on his LB SLB, but I guess that's okay if you're going to be using a fire team. But if you're not going to use a fire team, you're kind of in an awkward spot. And if you have Jet or Lilith, or even like if you want to even think about it, like Maeve, because technically she can also cover physical, then this guy won't really do anything that special, and he's just kind of a Neo Vision pool diluter, I've been calling him. His only really differences versus Jet is the racial mitigation on the LB SLB. I mean, it's a different kind of, it's just a different flavor of ice cream here. So nothing really that special, just kind of bland. A bland physical tank with a little bit of damage and also Omni cover. That's really all he provides to you. So Here's the vision card. This card has some guts, which is very nice. And Lilith has just some flat stat, or not flat, percentage stats as the first level, but the flatline stat is the same. But Lilith in the passive has 200 more defense than this one. This one only has 300 defense and 500 HP, whereas Lilith's vision card at EX1, right? She gets it at EX1, is 500 flat HP and defense. It's a good alternative to Lilith's vision card, though, a very good alternative. And it's just obviously, this is an obvious truth. It's obviously going to be inferior to Midnight Revelers or Revelers, because that one is a, you know, technically premium step up card thing, whereas this one's just obtainable at EX1. So you can't expect much, but I like the guts on it. I like the stats on it. It's okay for physical tanks. So he's getting a 6 out of 10. Just if you have Lilith, there's no reason to even care that he even exists. He'll probably pop up in your pulls though, won't he? In your off banner when you're pulling on stuff, he'll come up off banner. He's come up multiple times for me now on JP. He'll come up eventually for you too. He's just gonna be another one of the Coral, Rain, Old Cloud, Aerith, the units you really don't want to see. I mean, this guy is just okay. He's passable at best. So with that being said, guys, should you pull on this banner? Really only for Cloud. If they have, if Cloud and Barret have separate banners, don't even look at Barret's. But if they're on, I believe they're on the same on the main step up, but they might be separate. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Hopefully they are, so you don't have to look at Barret at all. If you have someone who just pulled for an year, I would just skip this and wait for Christmas, even though Christmas typically and traditionally is not that good. But maybe it'll be good this time, right? That's what we say every year. Maybe it'll be good this time. And if it's not, at this point, I think this is the turning point. At this point, if Christmas is not good again this year, then it's just a standard that Christmas will never be good and you should never save for it. And we should stop coping about, oh, Christmas is coming, let's save for it. I'll give it one more chance. One more chance. And hopefully Tiana gets buffs, by the way. Or at least she gets something a little interesting. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below if you like this review format, or should I go back to the other one? Yeah, let me know in the comment section down below. And I might change up the art style a little bit, but I'm not an artist. So I did the absolute best I could with absolutely zero artist knowledge at all. Like a middle school level of artist information. So with that being said, guys, thank you guys very much for watching again. Appreciate you watching. I hope to see you in the very next video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. Please, I need your guys' feedback. Thank you. Peace.